everyone, so for today's video I've got another weight loss diary. Before I get into the video though, I just want to explain something. I have got the most annoying cough and cold at the moment. I've had it for probably nearly a week now. It's just that really annoying like tickle in your throat and I'm coughing every 5 seconds. This video might be a bit choppy where I'm cutting out all the coughing, but that's why my weight loss diary only went up yesterday, just because I've just been really tired and not really sleeping very well because of it. And also I haven't been able to kind of film like makeup videos just because I've not really worn that much makeup. I've been feeling pretty rubbish. I think for the next couple of weeks my schedule might be all over the place. I still will be doing my weight loss diaries, but the other videos will be, they'll probably be a little bit different until the new year, when I want to get myself kind of a new and better schedule. So I will get straight on with my weight. So on the 4th of September I was 13 stone 4 pounds and 4 ounces, and then on the 3rd of December I was 11 stone 7 pounds and 8 ounces, and then on the 10th of December, my latest weighing day, I was 11 stone and 7 pounds. So I lost half a pound, which I was really happy with. Like I always say, as long as I lose something, and half a pound I think is, you know, it's a good amount, then I am really happy about that. It was a pretty rubbish week though. On the previous Saturday, me and John went out for a meal for our like anniversary, and I don't know if it was food poisoning or something else, but I was just being sick the whole night, so that was horrible. And then for the first couple of days of the week I wasn't really eating much, and then I kind of got my energy back. So I think from being sick I lost a lot of water weight, and then obviously when I started eating normally again I did put on the water weight back. I also, because we got the new car, I only went to the gym 3 times rather than 5, which was a bit of a pain, but I'm still glad that I did go 3 times. I ended up going on Wednesday, which is my normal kind of day off. So I did Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So for this video I wanted to talk about my carb night, because it's something that I haven't really gone in depth about, and I think if you're doing this diet, the way you do your carb night is really important. Personally for me, I weigh myself on a Saturday morning and I like to do my carb night on a Saturday night. I think for a lot of people the weekend tends to be when you're not working, or if you're going to go out, you know, with friends, or if you're going to go out for a meal, that's the kind of time you're going to do it. If that is another day during the week, then you could obviously switch it to that. But for me, that's just what works well. So when I kind of started the carb night, I did watch a video by, I can't remember what his name is, but I'll have his channel and the video I watched linked down below. I think he might have done a couple of videos on it. And he went over the carb night and sort of how you should do it, and made it very easy to kind of follow. But I think even, you know, following his steps, there are certain things that I think that you should consider when you're doing your carb night. So once you've got what day you want to do it, and from what he says, as long as there's 5 days between each carb night, then that's fine. Personally, I like to keep mine a week apart, just because I think that's, you know, the most realistic, and then it doesn't tend to muck up my weighing day. Because obviously after you have eaten carbs, you might put on a little bit of weight, and then you've kind of got the rest of the week to get back on to your kind of normal way of eating. The way I have kind of experimented a little, because I have tried to see what makes a difference. But I think at first you do need to kind of be very careful. Obviously when you start the keto diet, you are supposed to go like 10 days before you have your first carb night, and the last thing you want to do is binge or make yourself feel like you have to eat them foods, so you eat everything you can. That's one thing that I think is really important. Once you've established what day your carb night is going to be, you need to make sure that you have a plan of how the day is going to go. For me, it can differ from week to week, depending if I've worked, because I work on Sundays, but sometimes I do work on a Saturday as well. So that can make it, that only changes it a little bit. Then normally the first thing I do in the morning is have a cup of coffee. Sometimes have a little bit of normal sugar in that, but then sometimes I have a little bit of the sweetener. It just really depends on how I'm feeling, and sometimes John makes it for me. So, you know, I like to start off my day like that. I don't really tend to have breakfast, because that's something that I don't normally do anyway. It's not really something I feel like I have to do. So that's the first thing I do. Then when it comes to lunchtime, I like to have something a little bit nicer for my lunchtime, and we do normally tend to have our lunch fairly late on a Saturday because we tend to do stuff in the mornings, but I like to keep it small. So I might just have like a sandwich, and even if I do have a sandwich, it's generally only a cheese sandwich anyway, or like a chicken sandwich, so it's not an all-round bad thing. The only kind of non-keto part of that meal is the bread, so that's not something that is massively bad. Then with that I normally have like a Baby Bell or something like that, maybe some nuts. So they are still all part of the keto diet, and I'm not completely, you know, filling up all my carbs in one meal. And then a few hours later we have dinner. I like to plan generally what I'm going to have that night for my dinner, and the reason why is because then I can think about what I'm going to have for my lunch. If I know that we're going to be going out for a meal, or we're going to be having something that is really full of carbs or really full of sugar, then I will be really careful what I have for my lunch. Even though you can kind of relax a little bit on your lunch, I don't want to completely, you know, just go all out and have too many carbs. I don't think that there's a certain amount that you should have, and I don't think there's a certain percentage. I think it's just more of a case of making sure that you keep your carb night to a very, you know, maybe like a 5-hour window. And like I said, because we do normally have our like dinner, like our lunch quite late, it normally works out quite well for me. So my dinner can vary from, you know, obviously, so like I said, going out for a meal. We have had McDonald's one night, and sometimes we might have like a pizza. So it still incorporates keto friendly foods like cheese and meat and things like that. I am still quite selective in what I eat. We went to McDonald's recently, and you know, my normal kind of choice of meal from McDonald's is a chicken burger and chips. And you know, as much as I like that, I do like to try and not go, like I said, I like to try and not go overboard too much. So I actually got the chicken selects with some chips, which is a lot better than having the burger, because obviously then you've got all the bread of the burger with the chips as well. And that was actually quite nice, and I didn't feel as like full and heavy as I normally do after eating at McDonald's. I didn't even actually finish it all. I only had 2 out of the 3 chicken selects, and I left quite a lot of chips. So that's definitely something to keep in mind. That kind of brings me on to my next point of, just because, you know, you are allowed, or that day you entitle yourself to kind of eat more carbs, I don't feel like I have to finish everything I eat. I'm still very realistic. If you've been sticking to the keto diet for as long as what I have, then you should be finding yourself that you get full a lot quicker. Sometimes I even find that I do feel a bit sick. I do actually wonder if that's why I was sick the other Saturday and it wasn't food poisoning, if it was just because I had a hot dog and chips. So obviously that's quite a lot of carbs in one meal, and it's probably a lot more than I have had in, you know, more recent carb nights. You should be finding yourself getting full quite quickly and not really feeling like you have to finish your meal. You do enjoy it. Like, I love eating, you know, being able to eat stuff like that, but it doesn't, I don't feel like I love it as much as I used to. I have even like bought myself like a chocolate bar through the week and, you know, left it in the fridge until Saturday and just not eaten it just because I've not fancied eating it. I think once you've been doing it after a couple of weeks, it does get a lot easier, and you almost don't look forward to it as much, in a sense of you don't feel like, oh, I'm just going to eat everything I want. Like, it's not like that. But for the first couple of weeks, I was very careful with what I was choosing to eat. You will also tend to find that maybe like you'll have pasta like one Saturday or one carb night, and maybe put on a pound for that day, and then another day you might have like chips and chicken and only put on half a pound. And this is why I weigh myself every day, because I like to weigh myself on a Sunday and then think about what I ate the previous night and think, oh, it hasn't actually affected my body that much. This might be a regular thing on my carb night, especially because, you know, generally the meals I have on my carb night are the meals that I really do enjoy. So that's that. Obviously as well, if you are someone who drinks a lot of sugary drinks, that might be your opportunity to have like one. I would just stick to one with one of your meals. I don't tend to drink sugary drinks anyway. Like, very rarely I might have like a Dr. Pepper, but you know, I just got a couple of mini cans on Saturday and I just had them, and that was it. I think if you plan what you're going to have, like maybe on the Friday night, even on the Saturday morning, depending on, you know, like what you're feeling like, then it is a lot better. And I think it's important maybe to, you know, just to slowly, you know, I prefer to have maybe one carb like part of my meal rather than having like multiple. So that's why, like, when I went to McDonald's, I didn't have the chicken burger and chips, because that would have been 2 separate carbs. Whereas to me, like, the chips were the carbs and that was it, and it was very satisfying to have. Whereas I feel like if I would have had the burger, I wouldn't have felt as good. I do your own research on it. I'll link down, like I said, I'll link down the videos below, and you know, I think you should watch them because they are really helpful. And I think when you hear someone kind of structure it out for you, it is a lot easier to follow, and then you just kind of incorporate your own food. So my next 2 weight loss diary videos I have already planned out. My one next week will be about how to change your habits and how to get the most out of your diet, because I did have someone comment on me kind of talking about that, and I do think that there's a lot of things that I think are really important when you're starting, because I feel like in a lot of ways when people start diets or healthy eating, they are setting themselves up to fail, which I have done so many times in the past. I have spoke a lot in the past about, you know, how to kind of get into it and ways to be successful, but there are a lot of bad habits that I want to talk about and want to kind of help you to avoid, that I personally think make it easier to do. And then the video after that, I want to do like a Q&A. I think that there's probably a lot of stuff that, you know, I don't talk about that I think people would find helpful, but you know, it's, people will find certain aspects of, you know, losing weight harder than what other people do. So in this video and in my next video, I want you to leave any questions. They can be related to eating, they can be related to exercise, gym, and anything at all like that you want to ask me. Like I said, just leave down in the comments of this video and in the comments of the next video, which I will also mention next week as well. I'm still quite shocked, and I still almost can't get over the fact that it's been like, I think like 13 weeks, 14 weeks maybe even, that I've been doing this, and I haven't had a week that I've put on weight. To me, that is something that is just massive for me. Even when I was going to Weight Watchers, there would be weeks that I would put on weight, and it was really hard, and it would be so like upsetting for me, and I'd feel like I just want to give up. And I have now to say that I finally found something that not only works for me, but that is continuing to show me success, I just think is amazing. I'm really determined to get down to 11 stone before the new year, so that is something that I really hope that I can do, and I would be so happy about that, because then from January onwards, then I only have to lose about 1.5 stone. Obviously, like I said, I will probably tweak it the closer I get to it, but I don't think I've ever been so excited to like get to like spring and summer, and just to really see what I can do with myself and really push myself as hard as I can. So I really hope you enjoyed this video. I'm really excited to get a kind of new schedule and hopefully be able to upload more as well, because there are a lot of other kinds of videos I would like to do. Obviously, I've also mentioned about me doing my second channel. That will be probably starting in the next 2 or 3 weeks, and I do want to keep it separate just because it's going to be a very different kind of style of video, and I don't want, like, I feel like it's a very kind of different topic, and I don't want anything to overshadow. This channel was created mainly to be like a makeup channel, but I do like the fact that my kind of health and fitness aspect has become a massive part of it. And I think, and like I've always said, I really appreciate the feedback I get off these videos, and I love the fact that I do get a lot of, you know, people saying that they do find it helpful. And there are a lot of things next week that I want to talk about that I really, you know, if you were to watch any one of my weight loss diary videos, I think the next one will be, I'd like to think it'd be the most helpful. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!